two older men go on an island getaway with their daughters. But when one of them falls in love with her dad's best friend, he must resist temptation and avoid losing their friendship. Antoine drives to his hometown with his daughter Luna, his best friend Laurent, and the man's daughter Marie. When they arrive, the teenagers complain about the place being far from everything. Laurent tells them to stop acting stereotypically of their generation, though he admits that he's nervous around Antoine's gun collection. Luna claims to love guns, so her father gets excited about teaching her how to shoot. Still, he doesn't think the teen should learn yet, and she teases him by pointing the unloaded weapon at him. His friend then makes a loud clap, making him jump from fear. The ladies then head to their room and scream when they find a dead rat. Laurent checks and argues that it's already lifeless, teasing them with the carcass before disposing of it. Meanwhile, Antoine visits the family grave to mourn his departed relatives. Later, the teenagers desperately try to get phone signals while Laurent happily tidies up. He tells them to appreciate real life, then plays loud music to excite them. The ladies start dancing with him, finally lifting their moods. However, this is dampened when Antoine returns to announce that Luna's mother can't join them. The teen asks how he contacted her mother, so he explains there's reception by the family grave. Marie finds it creepy that there's a cemetery within the property, yet the teens set up there. While using their phones, they learn that her crush Romain is also on the island. Because of this, they ask permission to meet friends tonight. However, when they reveal they'll be picked up on scooters, Antoine adamantly says no, fearing an accident. As a compromise, he asserts that they return before 1:30 in the morning and that he'll call a cab for them instead. The teens later make their beds while talking about Romain, whom Luna thinks is too immature for her friend. She's looking for a man with whom she can have intellectual conversations while still being funny and attractive. Marie thinks those things don't matter right now since she's not focusing on settling down. Her friend, in contrast, would rather find her one love already, so she teases her for her romantic dreams, and Luna starts a pillow fight. That evening, the fathers hire a cab to take their daughters to and from the city. They also assert that they aren't allowed to go clubbing, unaware that the teens switch their outfits once it's clear. During this, Antoine remains nervous about letting Luna out. He comforts himself that she'd probably tell her mother if something happened to her with a man. Laurent insists that a father must protect their daughters, but his friend isn't comfortable with the topic of his daughter having intimacy, trying to convince himself that she's still a kid. Meanwhile, Marie and Luna are at a club with Romain and his friend, Theo. Soon, things get intense, and Marie and Romain start kissing. While Theo tries to seduce Luna, she keeps avoiding his advances. At the house, the men play while discussing Laurent's divorce. He admits that he regrets it given how it affects Marie, but Antoine doesn't think the teen minds. Still, he finds it sad to build something with someone for years, only to be alone again. Later, the ladies drunkenly have fun having their photos taken. This, however, causes Luna to stumble over and reveal a bit too much. Their fathers soon get worried as their curfew hour is drawing near. To their frustration, the ladies return while riding scooters with the guys. Immediately, Antoine yells at the teenagers, more so when they notice their changed outfits and the fact that they're drunk. The next day, the group goes canyoning at Lovers Falls, though Luna refuses to do the activity with her father since it's supposed to be for lovers. Instead, she climbs down the canyon with Laurent, who keeps assuring her when she gets nervous. The two grow close, with Luna eyeing the older man differently. Later on, as everyone removes their wetsuits, Laurent notices Luna showing too much. Instead of covering herself, she watches him suggestively, though he tries not to look. That night, they go to the town for dinner. During this, Luna begs her father to attend a club party with her friend, stressing that a famous DJ will be there. Laurent allows Marie since she's older, which upsets her further since her father won't let her. Just then, Antoine spots Linda, the woman he met on the boat on their way to the island. Hoping to have a chance, he finally lets Luna go clubbing, but Laurent has to accompany them. This would allow him time to be with the woman. With no choice, the man takes their daughters to the club while Antoine talks to Linda. Laurent hangs back to watch them from afar, but he attracts another lady and flirts with her. Luna notices this and gets jealous, so she approaches Laurent and tells him to take them home since they're drunk. He hesitates since he's interested in the woman, but ultimately follows her to get Marie. Meanwhile, Antoine takes Linda to a bar, ignoring his wife's phone call. The two spend the night flirting, but his date worries because he's still wearing a wedding ring. Antoine explains that his marriage is in trouble, so she questions how he'd feel if his wife were also flirting with someone. Elsewhere, when Marie joins Laurent, She asks him to let her go somewhere before heading home. Also drunk, the father doesn't argue while Luna offers to go home with him. With no choice, the man trusts his daughter to return home alone. So she leaves. Antoine later takes a cab home while calling his wife, whom he learns is also at a bar. Recalling what Linda said about his wife seeing someone else, he complains that she's out having fun while he takes care of their daughter. Just then, the cab stops as a wild boar blocks the road. He exits and finds that the animal has damaged his fence, so he grabs his gun to hunt it down. Unbeknownst to him, Luna gets Laurent more drunk to convince him to party with her. Once he's tired, she stalls by inviting him to swim on the beach. He refuses since he's drunk, but the woman removes her clothes anyway. This makes him nervous, so he tries to look away as Luna takes a dip in the water. She continues goading him into joining her, and eventually, he relents. The teenager uses this chance to kiss her friend's dad, but he immediately rejects her. They return to the shore where Laurent scolds her. She apologizes, claiming that with her parents on the brink of divorce, she's been confused about romance lately. However, she finds a confidant in the man as he makes her feel safe. With this, she starts kissing him again. And even when he says no, the woman continues, leading to an intimate exchange. Afterward, a conflicted Laurent drives with a happy Luna beside him. The two then arrive home to find Antoine with a gun. The man explains the situation with the boar, but gets angry when he learns that his friend allowed Marie to head off alone. The next morning, Laurent contemplates what happened last night when Luna surprises him with a kiss. He warns that what happened between them was foolish, but she merely teases him before leaving. She then has breakfast with Antoine and Marie, who notices her wearing her father's shorts. Later in their room, she confronts her about this, but her friend claims to have found them in her luggage and thought she could borrow them. She doesn't believe this, but dismisses it anyway. The men later head to town to buy an electric fence for the boar before joining their daughters at the beach. Luna tricks Laurent into putting lotion on her, but she directs his hand to touch somewhere else as he does. To escape temptation, Laurent moves to swim, but Luna follows him. Marie notices this and keeps watch, not hearing how her father is trying to reject her friend. At sea, she insists they're in love and tries getting close to him, but he pushes her away. That afternoon, Laurent sets up the electric fence while Antoine has another argument with his wife, who refuses to join them. As he comforts his friend about this, he tries to mention Luna's behavior towards him. However, the man is distracted by his situation and simply thanks him for being a good friend, making him feel guilty. He later finds Marie getting dolled up to go out. He complains that she keeps leaving, but his daughter tells him that his shorts are in her room, hinting that she knows about him and Luna. Afraid that she'd tell, Laurent doesn't argue further. With Marie away, Luna visits Laurent late at night. Again, he tries to reject her, but she threatens to scream for her father. This scares Laurent, so he allows her to sleep in his room as long as she doesn't touch him. By morning, however, Laurent finds her curled up to him. He wakes her since his daughter's arriving and will notice her gone, but Luna just relishes sleeping next to him like a real couple. She then threatens that she won't leave until he confesses his feelings, and when Laurent hears Marie nearby, he has no choice but to say, "I love you," to his friend's daughter. Satisfied, Luna heads out, not noticing that Marie caught her leaving her father's room. Pissed, Marie goes to bed without speaking. However, her friend decides to confess her feelings for her father, so she calls her immoral and Laurent a creep before storming off and leaving her crying. Overhearing his daughter's outburst, the man peeks into their bedroom and finds Luna in tears, insisting that she loves him. But he doesn't respond and just leaves, making her weep further. Soon, Antoine finds Marie asleep on the couch. When she yells at him for asking why he's there, he complains to Laurent about her attitude and orders him to discipline his daughter. Laurent promises to do so, fearing Marie will divulge the truth. He then goes to check on the teenager, but finds her crying in the bedroom. Meanwhile, Antoine makes breakfast and asks Luna if she talked to her mother. She claims to know they're separating, and that her mom is looking into a new home so they can move out. Laurent overhears his friend yelling and thinks Luna told him about them, so he musters the courage to face him, only to learn that they're arguing over his wife's moving out. Later, Luna threatens Laurent into taking her on a jet ski ride. As revenge, he drives recklessly to scare her, though in Marie's perspective, she thinks the two are having fun. Antoine joins her by the shore, concerned that she's acting out because of her father. She doesn't deny this, so he assumes it's due to the divorce. That night, The group plays card games, though Marie notices Luna trying to play with her father's leg. Marie mentions Laurent's recent fling to upset her. She then hears Romain arriving, so she heads off with him. Luna also decides not to play anymore, so Antoine uses the time to call his wife. This leaves Luna and Laurent alone, so the woman asks about their relationship. He reminds her she's not his wife, so she retaliates by kissing him. The man grabs her and asserts that there's nothing between them until the teenager storms off in tears. Desperate and lonely, Luna seeks comfort from her father in the morning. She asks him for advice, admitting that she's in love. Antoine is alarmed that his daughter has been with a man, so he asks who dumped her after sleeping with her. The teenager hints that it's an older man, angering him further. Laurent and Marie overhear them arguing, making the man nervous. However, when he doesn't do anything, his daughter calls him pathetic before leaving. When Antoine gives up speaking to Luna, he takes Laurent out to rant about what he discovered. He asks him to help find the man who used his teenage daughter. When they return home, Laurent scolds Luna for putting him in danger with her father. She calls him a coward for not telling her father the truth, which offends the man, so he leaves. Meanwhile, Antoine notices Marie alone, so he sits with her to check in on her. However, the woman catches on and claims she doesn't know Luna's boyfriend. Later, he asks his friend to coax the truth out of his daughter, believing that she trusts him more. Just then, Luna drops off her bag for them to watch before she goes to the beach. This gives him a chance to check her phone despite Laurent's objections. Thankfully, the device has a passcode, and to keep him from guessing it, his friend promises to talk to her tonight. That evening, Laurent takes Luna out to talk to her, but she's more focused on how this feels like a date. She even shows him she posted a photo of them together on Facebook, laughing as he begs her to delete it. He warns that her dad is already bent on hurting the man who touched her. With this, the teen asks if he'd fall for her if she were older, and not his friend's daughter. Laurent dodges the questions, saying that it's not the issue. He insists on lying that nothing happened. He points out that her father is his best friend. Elsewhere, Antoine hears a boar's squeals from afar. So when Laurent and Luna arrive home, they hear a gunshot. They see the man celebrating because he scared the boar away. However, he's frustrated that the electric fence didn't work. Uninterested, Luna heads to her bedroom, so her father talks to Laurent, who says she's just trying to anger him by lying about being with an older man. Antoine isn't convinced and pesters his friend for more information, until he lies that the DJ from the other night might know. Instantly, the father seethes in rage, insisting on taking the man's life. Laurent clarifies that he thinks the DJ might know something, but this doesn't change his mind. So the two head to the club where he desperately tries to dissuade his friend from acting out. Despite his attempts, Antoine later corners the man in the bathroom and beats him. Laurent stops him long enough for the DJ to announce that he likes men, not women. This convinces him to retreat, though he blames his friend for the accusation. His pal argues that he simply said the DJ might know who he is, but when the concerned dad continues to berate him, he shoves and yells at him. The two eventually return home in time for Antoine to hear the boar again. He immediately takes his gun to shoot it, only to hit the neighbor's dog instead. Guilty, they bury it in the woods. In the morning, the man apologizes for his reckless actions. Laurent assures him that it's okay, but when the neighbor searches for his dog later, the men lie that they haven't seen it. The neighbor then spots their ruined garden and complains about the boar that also destroyed his plants, so the man invites Antoine to hunt it down later. Hearing this, Marie calls them sick for harming the animal before storming off. When her dad follows her, she finally confronts him about her friend. Laurent apologizes, insisting that it wasn't what he wanted. Still, his daughter is disgusted at him. Later, a few men from town head to the woods to hunt the boars. During this time, Antoine internalizes the mistakes that drove his wife and possibly Luna away. Then, he went on to flirt with Linda the other night, convincing himself he's a terrible man. Mustering up the courage, Laurent stresses that they're both sinners, finally admitting that he was the one who slept with his daughter. The man immediately tackles him and beats him. At sunset, Antoine joins the others as they haul the boars they hunted into their trucks, forcing Laurent to walk home alone. Late that night, Luna finally confesses to Marie that she tricked her father, but her friend argues that her father should have been more responsible. When the hunter gets home, he discovers the teenager's note saying they're out for a party. A beaten Laurent arrives as well, but they stay silent. So he packs his and his daughter's luggage, although ultimately, the men spend the night thinking about their situation. By morning, They hear the ladies arrive with their dates. The women see their dads bruised, but when asked what happened, Antoine assures them that they were just waiting for them, signaling that he has forgiven Luna and Laurent. Still, his teenage daughter looks at his friend lovingly, though she has accepted that she must move on from her summer romance.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.